Hobie might have had limited screen time in the franchise so far, but his impact on the narrative is massive. From the second he steps into the frame, he takes over the spotlight, not just because of his style, but because he's actually the catalyst for everything that follows.
Man like Miles, my God.
It would have been easy for the story to set him up as a romantic rival for Miles, but instead, he becomes his most consistent ally. From their very first interaction, it's clear that Hobie sees something in Miles that he respects. He doesn't just tolerate him, he genuinely likes him because Miles represents everything Hobie stands for.
Everyone keeps telling me how my story is supposed to go. Nah, I'ma do my own thing.
To the Spider Society, Miles is an anomaly, a mistake in the system, but to Hobie, being an anomaly is the highest compliment. It means Miles exists outside the rigid authoritarian rules that Miguel has established. When Miles decides to fight against the canon and the system to save his father, he's doing exactly what Hobie believes in, challenging a structure that tells people their sacrifices are mandatory. This support isn't just moral, it's practical. Hobie is the one who teaches Miles how to master his electric powers, using his palms instead of just his fingers, which ends up being a crucial skill later on. Even when Miles is trapped by Miguel, Hobie is right there whispering the exact tip he needs to break free.
Sorry it had to end like this, kid.
I said not to call me that!
He isn't interested in the politics of the Spider Society, so as soon as the chaos of the chase begins, he simply walks away. But his exit wasn't a retreat. It was a move he had already planned several steps in advance. Hobie is incredibly observant, and he clearly saw the conflict growing within Gwen. He knew she wouldn't be able to stay complicit with Miguel's treatment of Miles for long, and he anticipated that she would eventually be kicked out or leave on her own terms. Because he predicted this outcome, he didn't just leave the society empty-handed. He managed to create a bootleg dimensional travel watch and left it in Gwen's universe, specifically with her father, knowing that was the one place she would eventually end up going back to. He even took it a step further by presetting the coordinates to Miles' universe. He knew Gwen's first instinct would be to find Miles, and he made sure she had the tools to do it without being tracked by Miguel's system. By the time he joins Gwen's rescue team at the very end, it's clear that Hobie has been the architect behind the scenes. He's the one who gave the group the means to rebel, and his role in the next part of the story is likely going to be even more significant as they head into the unknown to bring Miles home. After everything that happened at the Spider Society, Miles has every reason to be guarded. He was betrayed by the people he looked up to most, so it's natural to expect him to keep his walls up, especially around Gwen and Peter B. We don't know exactly how he'll react when they eventually reunite, but it feels very likely that he'll be more open to talking to Hobie first. Hobie was the only one who didn't lie to him or try to hold him back, which creates a foundation of trust that the others have lost. Because of that unique bond, Hobie could end up being a crucial bridge in Miles and Gwen's relationship. He saw firsthand how much Gwen cared about Miles and how much she struggled with the secrets she was forced to keep. He could easily be the one to explain to Miles just how much pain she was in and how much the fallout hurt her. At the same time, while Hobie acting as a mediator is a strong plot point, there's something even more rewarding about the idea of Gwen doing that work herself. Seeing her put in the effort to prove her loyalty and earn Miles' trust back without anyone else doing it for her would feel like a much more powerful character arc. Regardless of how that plays out, we're almost certainly going to get a moment where Miles and Hobie just talk man to man, which would be a great way to ground the emotional stakes of the third film. Since the narrative has become so complex, it would be really helpful to have a summary of the major events before the story continues. It would be amazing to see a few flashbacks showing Gwen's early days in the Spider Society, giving us a clearer picture of how she felt and what she went through leading up to the moment she finally decided to visit Miles. Ultimately, the most important arc this franchise needs to conclude is Miles finally getting the ending he deserves. The whole series has been building toward him writing his own story and proving that being Spider-Man shouldn't be defined solely by suffering and tragedy. The situation is so volatile right now that it's hard to predict exactly how everything will wrap up, but the hope is that Miles finds a way to save his family and his future on his own terms.